We are launching a deep dive today into a life decision that is, well, it's both really common and deeply, deeply emotionally charged.
It really is.
We're talking about the scenario of leaving a long-term marriage for a new relationship.
Right.
And our mission really is to strip away the romanticized myth of the clean slate and, get into the true complexities, the logistical fallout that our sources document.
And that myth is exactly where our sources begin. The core attraction for the person leaving is this sincere belief that the decision guarantees a new, happy life free from old problems.
Like a total reset button.
Exactly. It's the idea that they can just trade one life for a completely fresh, unrestricted one. And this is often happening during a very specific psychological phase.
That promise of a clean break is so powerful, but yeah, the sources immediately tie it to, let's say, an unsteady foundation. So you mentioned a psychological phase. Let's ground this in the context our research provides.
They're talking about the midlife crisis, or MLC specifically. The sources repeatedly connect this desire for a radical change to that period of internal turmoil. They even pinpoint the maximum vulnerability typically appearing in men aged about 37 to 42.
Huh. That's specific? 37 to 42.
It's an age bracket that's really defined by transition, where this powerful self-doubt can take hold.
Why that specific window, though? What's happening psychologically between 37 and 42 that makes the temptation of a completely new life so overwhelming?
It's often the convergence of a few high-pressure realization points. They might be realizing they've hit a career plateau or perhaps they're confronting their first real brush with mortality.
Well, life is halfway over feeling.
Precisely. That feeling that they haven't achieved what they intended. And when these feelings come up, the sources are clear that they significantly distort reality.
So?
It's like trying to fix a faulty engine by, buying a brand new steering wheel. You become convinced the external change will solve the deep internal issue.
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You are doing important work.
So the distortion mechanism is key. The individual isn't really looking for a new relationship. They're looking for a cure for their existential anxiety.
Exactly. And that urgency pushes them toward these impulsive decisions. The new partner becomes the physical manifestation of the emotional escape, and it blinds the person to the complicated, mandatory financial and logistical realities they just can't abandon.
Let's delve into those internal drivers, because the sources are incredibly specific about the emotional audit happening here. They quote 2 existential questions that drive this intense self-doubt.
And they're powerful questions.
They're painful. The first one is, will my life pass by without me ever experiencing true feelings?
Wow. That phrasing is just devastating. It suggests the person feels emotionally anesthetized in their current life.
Yeah.
So they go searching for a spark, for validation, for proof that they're even capable of deep emotion. And the new partner, especially during the intensity of a new affair, offers this overwhelming temporary feeling that they mistake for a permanent solution.
And then the second question, which gets right to the heart of that need for validation, is, I want to know what it means to be fully accepted and loved for who I am.
And what's fascinating here is that the search isn't necessarily about dissatisfaction with the marriage. It's dissatisfaction with the self.
Ah, okay.
They feel unseen or maybe misunderstood. The new relationship is perceived to offer that unconditional acceptance, an emotional sanctuary, which temporarily overrides any critical thinking about things like, dividing a retirement account or figuring out school pickups.
So the desire for that internal fix is so potent, it makes the individual extremely vulnerable to making these rash choices.
Without realistically assessing any of the consequences, yeah.
They're seeking a clean emotional break, but what the sources make painfully clear is that there is no clean logistical break.
Which brings us to the central finding of this deep dive.
Right. The ultimate punchline here, according to the research, is that when you leave, you don't start a new life. You begin a new life plus your old life. That phrase is a powerful summary of the reality because you simply can't sever the ties, especially with children. We've focused on the kids and the emotional side, but let's be real, the biggest shockwave is often financial and legal.
Oh, absolutely. The sources dedicate significant time to what happens when money gets involved.
Have that.
The emotional promise of that clean slate is just obliterated by non-negotiable legal obligations. When you merge your life with a new partner, you inherit this massive financial legacy from your previous life.
And it isn't a brief settlement, is it? It's an ongoing mandatory thing.
It's a financial drain. Can I walk you through the big components?
Please.
Okay, so first, you have the division of marital assets. Things like pensions, shared businesses, the family home on, all of that has to be equitably divided.
Which can cripple you right out of the gate.
It can. Second, there is spousal support or alimony, which can be substantial and last for years.
Yeah.
And third, the most persistent, non-negotiable cost is child support. These calculations are legally mandated, they're based on income, and they ensure a significant portion of your income remains dedicated to your original household, regardless of what your new partner needs or wants.
So, if the original marriage was economically long and sound, the financial strain on the new relationship can be immediate and crippling. The new partner isn't just marrying a person.
They are marrying a financial liability.
Hmm.
Precisely. And that stress tests the new relationship right away. Many sources suggest that the financial reality, the sudden drop in disposable income, the mandatory payments to the ex-spouse, is often the first major friction point that they just did not see coming.
They bought into the idea of running off to happiness.
But they actually inherited a mortgage and 2 support payments.
And beyond the money, there's the moral and legal truth that the responsibility of parenthood can't be divorced. That constant communication with the co-parent, the ex-wife, is totally unavoidable.
You've hit the nail on the head. You can divorce your spouse, but you cannot divorce your co-parenting relationship. The sources are clear. You will still need to meet with your children regularly, participate in their education, their healthcare decisions.
And to do that, you have to talk to your ex.
You must communicate with your ex-wife about all of it. This isn't a quick text once a month. This requires sustained, often scheduled, and sometimes very tense interaction.
Which brings us right into Section 3, the integration challenge. The old life is still there, financially and logistically, which means the new partner, the new spouse, has to be ready to accept all that complexity.
That's the test.
And the sources advise the individual to ask themselves 3 crucial checkpoint questions about their new partner's readiness. These are reality checks.
They're essential litmus tests. The individual, caught up in the emotional rush, often just assumes the new partner is ready for anything because, hey, they love him.
But real life isn't that simple.
No. Real life demands specificity. So the first question is fundamental. How will she feel about you spending non-negotiable time with your children? Because that time takes away from time with her.
And the second question addresses the operational side, which is where the real friction happens. How will she react to necessary ongoing interactions with your ex-wife about household and parenting matters?
Yeah, this isn't just about avoiding a hostile situation. It's about accepting that your former partner is still an active co-manager of your children's lives.
And this is where custody agreements become a major test for the new relationship.
It really is. The sources give a very concrete example. Many divorced parents have a standard custody arrangement where the child spends, say, 1 or 2 weeks with each parent.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, that means the new partner has to be prepared for the children to be fully integrated residents, not just, weekend visitors.
Absolutely. The reality check is that the new partner must be ready for the possibility that the child might live with you part of the time. This is a huge logistical and emotional commitment.
It demands massive buy-in from the new spouse.
It does. They have to accept that their home is now a co-parenting hub, which can disrupt their own routine, their space, their finances.
And the third question goes straight to the heart of blending those two lives. Is she ready to accept your child into her life, especially if she has children of her own?
It's about merging 2 families, 2 financial histories, and 2 sets of expectations into one, often very crowded house.
And you can't overlook the tension of just being in the same space. How will the new partner feel if they have to frequently cross paths with the ex-wife?
Ugh, yeah. School events, birthdays, shared holidays, doctor's appointments. All these moments force the current and former spouses into close proximity.
And if the new partner sees the ex-spouse as a threat or a nuisance?
Every single one of those necessary interactions becomes a source of tension in the new marriage. It's an ongoing management challenge, not a one-time fight you can win.
It sounds like the key lesson is that the decision to leave and commit to a new partner isn't an exercise in subtraction. It's an exercise in, multiplication of complexities.
That is a perfect way to put it.
You didn't shed problems. You just traded familiar, established problems for a completely new, integrated set of logistical and financial hurdles.
And that is the ultimate takeaway for you, the listener. The sources caution that during the impulsive phase of a midlife crisis, these complexities are just. They're utterly invisible. The advice is clear and preventative. To avoid future mistakes, you have to take the time to realistically assess all of it.
the financial, the legal, the co-parenting consequences.
Yes. And most importantly, you have to honestly determine whether the new partner is truly ready for this multi-layered reality before making the final commitment.
Because the old life doesn't just fade away.
It moves into the new house with you, carrying the legal paperwork and the shared social calendar right along with it.
This raises a really important question for anyone contemplating this then.
It does. The sources emphasize that the emotional state of the MLC distorts reality, leading to this belief that the new life is problem-free because it offers a powerful emotional high, that promise of acceptance.
That fully accepted and loved for who I am feeling.
Exactly. So if the decision is driven fundamentally by that urgent emotional impulse, how much of the difficulty that comes later, the financial strain, the integration struggle, is a direct result of seeking that acceptance impulsively?
Instead of making a clear-eyed assessment of the persistent, unavoidable logistical requirements.
Right. Did the decision fulfill a need for emotional validation, or did it create a viable long-term family structure? The gap between that emotional desire and logistical durability is the most dangerous lesson the sources reveal.
That's a powerful thought to carry forward as you contemplate these realities.
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you want to overcome betrayal, break toxic cycles, take control of your relationship choices, read How to Deal with a Love Triangle. The link is below the video.